so in this next phase, we want to start out by taking a look at the UDL guidelines. We're just beginning this work, I realize, as teams of looking at how UDL can help to change things for students by just focusing on how we approach planning instruction for our classrooms. So if we can find some ways to help John by just expanding our experience and our skills in building UDL into our lesson planning, that's where we want to begin for our problem solving. The hope is that at some point we'll be able to meet most students' needs most of the time just by making these kinds of changes in how we do things. So for today, in talking about John, let's see if we can identify maybe just 3 things from our UDL guides, and you have a couple of copies here at the table, that if we were to consciously focus on might make a difference for him. You have a couple of copies, as I said, to kind of glance through, so take a minute, and if anyone has any ideas of ones that are really critical that would support John specifically, then let's throw them out there.
You kind of, after looking at it, I think, just looking at engagement, I think he seems like a really engaged learner. He's really motivated. Does anybody else have an area of priority or think this is an area of priority for him?
No, but I think I see a lot more of a need in the area of representation because of his difficulty with reading. I'd like to suggest that we consider the guideline provide options for language, mathematical expression, and symbols, and particularly supporting decoding of text. I was thinking that if I could focus in my classroom on highlighting specific words, key passages, in these longer passages, that it would be a great strategy for John and for the whole classroom.
That's excellent. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes. And I've been really focused on providing all of my class materials to all students through PowerPoints or handouts or the study guides in a digital format. So that really makes a difference, especially for someone like John who can benefit from the read aloud features that are available on his Chromebook. But looking at this, I think I'd suggest we look at the guideline of provide options for perception, and particularly, offer ways of customizing the display of information.
I hadn't really considered that, but sometimes with the lengthy directions that we have in math with our word problems, they really mess John up. And I recently gave the class an article that had a lot of technical vocabulary, and John really struggled with it.
I'd also like us to kind of take a look at the action and expression component of UDL, because with his challenges with writing, his ability to be successful with longer writing passages and assignments really seem to be like a major concern at this time.
And I think it would be great if we could really expand the types of options we give to students for these long involved projects. I know I've worked with some of you on ideas for alternatives for particular students over the years, but I think if we make this available for all students, then he wouldn't stand out so much and feel so different than the other students.
Well, and I think that it'd be great if we could work in some of his creativity. So if we brought in some technology skills, that would really do well for his ego. Other kids could see him successful at something, and that would be helpful.
So let's identify options for expression and communication as another area to focus on. Maybe that's even an activity you might want to explore in one of your PLC groups. What are the various different ways or options we can have available as kind of a collective group for students that would still require them to think critically and demonstrate their grasp of the content in a way other than writing a paper. I think that's probably enough for us to tackle in terms of new UDL strategies to explore. So I have a question for you. If we were to end right here and just say, you know what, we're going to focus on providing options for language, mathematical expressions, and symbols, providing options for perception, and providing options for expression and communication, do you as a group believe that's enough to support John at this point in time? Or should we go further and look at some more specific tools tied to what John's being asked to do right now?
You know, I think looking at the information we've already gathered, prior to this meeting, I think he really has a lot of needs that need more support. I think we could come up with some specific things to try with him that would really help benefit him a little bit more than just the typical UDL strategies in place.
I agree, he's had years of specialized instruction, and it's really time to get down to the things that will enable him to move forward to reaching his goals and that would work around his disabilities that he'll always have.